914. She got a new project out right now. As I call it, the soundtrack to this winter. I think it's the soundtrack for the ladies and the vibe the ladies is on. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Miss TINICA Rose, what's up, ugly?
Hey.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I can't complain.
It's good to see you. Good to have you in the building. What's up? How
It's
you
always
feeling
good
on
to
this
be
Monday?
here. I feel good. I feel good. Considering all things, I feel good.
It's good to see you. You looking good over there. Makeup on fleeky and all of that. We see you. What's up?
Nothing. I'm just happy to be here. I'm excited. And yeah.
We got a new project in the streets.
We do. Big Girl Winter.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome back. You know, you a resident guest in the building, so sometimes we often forget, like, yo, T's an artist, man. She's an artist first, you know,
Yes.
and you're a songwriter. So it was important seeing the show and seeing everything you got going on this week. It was very important that we caught up with you this month, because I know from just tagging along and watching your journey over the last couple months, we've been seeing you in boot camps, we've been seeing you in vocal training, so we're going to get into all of that, man. How you feeling, first and foremost? What's up?
I feel great. I feel great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't lie. I can't complain. I've been really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been
You been
really
enjoying
good.
yourself? You seem
I don't
you
know
seem
if
a lot happier.
enjoyment is the thing.
Uh-huh.
I've definitely been challenging myself, and I definitely have been growing. So I think that with that comes, like, you know, that good feeling, like, you know, work is being done.
Absolutely.
I've been working.
Absolutely.
And it's grateful to just be able to work, honestly.
So talk to us. You know, the last project, The Girl Behind the Sarcasm, and then from The Girl Behind the Sarcasm, we've been getting just a flood, I'm gonna say, 2019 of singles.
Yeah.
Some, you know, because I know you're an artist that I may see frequent many different avenues to your journey of superstardom. And when I watched last year, ended out 2019, the path you were on, I was amazed to see this new page in your book where we don't often see indie artists on the journey do half of the things we've been watching you do out here for 2019. So, you know, before we jump into this Big Girl Winter project, I just want to first commend you for, you know, for being so transparent and just showing us the entire journey. Like, we've been watching you. It's more than just deeper than music. We've been watching you go through a transformation on our timeline that's been like no other. Talk to us about, you know, 2019, the mind frame going into it, leading up to this Big Girl Winter, and just where you were last year with putting everything together and bringing this beautiful, you know, display of who we see today.
Oh, no, I appreciate that. First, you know what I do want to say? It's funny because when you talk about transition, I was in the kitchen, I was talking to my niece, and my niece was like, she's like, Auntie, how you go from, you know, I wanted you to love me, to she's like, how do you go through that? She's like, that's a crazy transition. And honestly, it's like my coach, Ikayla, she's my vocal coach at the Voice Bags. She says, she's like, you know, art imitates life, so you kind of, the more you evolve within yourself, then the more you'll evolve musically. And it's just really about doing the work. And last year was such a turning point in my personal life, in my professional life. Mm-hmm. And it was like, it was almost like a second coming, if you will, of some sort. And I felt like, one, I had left a 9-to-5 that I was at for like forever,
Okay.
I put in, what is that, like 8.5 years. And I just got tired of listening to myself complain. So I just made that transition, and I took a leap of faith, and I got this temp gig, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna rock out for however long, you know, God allows me this opportunity, and I'm gonna, and I'm just gonna like figure out where my next move is gonna be. And honestly, my last check, like my last check from my job, I just woke up and it was on my spirit, and it was like, you know, I'm just gonna buy a laptop. And I was scared. I was scared because I'm a mom, and I'm like, dang, if I spend this check on a laptop, like, how am I gonna afford?
Check too.
Yeah, my last check, like, I'm gonna have a solid 2 weeks, you know, of uncertainty. And you know, you a Virgo, you know, I'm like, uncertainty, like, we don't live in that place. You know, we gotta know for certain and for sure that we're gonna get paid, and we're gonna have enough bread to do whatever. Nothing slows me down more. Nothing like disrupts my spirit like being broke. Broke is just, it makes me sad. It's a level I can't explain. But I was sitting there and I was like, you sure? And I felt like I was just like, yeah, like, I got you, like, it's lit. So I went there and I got this, I bought this MacBook. I took the bus home in the rain because I was like, I can't spend out another time.
But you had that MacBook.
But I had the MacBook.
Nice.
And I said, okay, now that I have this, what else? Like, what are you going to do? Because now this has to make you money. Like, you just invested your money. Like, this has to do something. And, man, I took that laptop and I just started waking up at 5 a.m. and I would sit in front of it. And it all started, I'm not gonna lie to you, like a drunken night. And I woke up feeling so guilty the next day that I sat in my kitchen at the island.
Yeah.
And I just sang. I told myself that I was gonna take what I was feeling and I was gonna create something beautiful. Because too many times, like, when we have these very human moments, we can be very hard on ourselves if we don't get it right. Like, if our life is not mapped out and I was like, damn, like, right now I'm home, I'm not working, I don't know what that feels like, you know, I didn't feel good enough. And I was like, nah, we're not even gonna sit in here, like, we're gonna, like, figure this out. So I sat down, and honestly, that's when I wrote Want You. And as I'm writing it, it's like, as I sang it, because, you know, I usually freestyle my songs first, and then I figure out what I can keep and how I want to, like, begin to structuralize it. So I'm like, and I'm listening to it, I was like, oh, this is good. Like, I was like, okay, Jesus, you know, like, we lit. Like, this is good. You know what I'm saying? And especially when, oh, man, what is it? It was just like, as I'm, like, singing these lyrics out, I'm thinking to myself, I knew in that moment that me buying this laptop was probably the best decision that I could have made. And it just sparked something inside of me that I just kept moving forward with it. And I just kept writing. I kept, like, waking up early in the morning, because I found when the house is quiet is when I did my best thinking. I would wake up at 4:50, so I make sure I was downstairs at 5 a.m. And, you know, I would put coffee in the pot or whatever, and then I would just, like, get to work. And I started writing, and then next thing you know, I wrote Honor Me. And then I was like, oh, this is good. And then I was, it's so funny, I was, like, literally, when I started to even think about Big Girl Winter, the first song that I wrote that told me that I was capable of putting together a project. And you can remember this, Fuge, because I remember I waited for our meeting, and it was such out, I was dumb hype, and I waited till the end. I've never been so patient, because anybody who's ever sung Fuge music, you know that he takes a while. He likes to read things. He wants to hear it in all his element, and he wants to vibe to it. And I'm like, I don't want you to vibe. I want to know what you think immediately.
You did press me, OD, for that.
So, no, I was dumb patient. Yeah. I waited till the night was over, and I waited until I was just about to leave. And I was like, oh, I want you to hear this song. And it was All Summer. And All Summer, it's one of my favorite songs. It made it to the EP. I couldn't picture the project without it, honestly. I was a little hesitant at first, but I remember I was just like laying in bed, and this first line came to me. I was like, I just curved my future husband today.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know the type of discipline that takes. And I said, wait a minute. I was like, that is some profound, that is profound. I was like, oh, we gotta. So I jumped up out of my bed, and I went searching for beats. And the first beat that I found was the beat for All Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started rapping, so I was like, but you never rapped before. I was like, shh. I had to silence that voice because I'm like, you're not going to come in between this moment, because that right there, that line to me was so fire that I had to expand on it. And I didn't care if I wasn't a rapper. I didn't care who thought of what in that moment. I just thought that I was just having fun. I was having so much fun.
But hold on. We're not going to let you just slide past this.
Oh.
Now, in 2019, when you were cooking up this new energy that you're describing, now I want to take the people along this journey with us. Like, we kind of saw glimpses of this new energy and new direction. Like your niece said, you went from, really harmonies, a lot of, I'm going to say, a lot of traditional R&B.
Like that heartfelt.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like that real R&B, soft kind of, vibrational music. Like you went from that, right, to this new energy where not only are you rapping, but we saw you last year put out a freestyle. You hopped on the Steely challenge, like the challenge.
No, it was
the Peace challenge, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't the Peace challenge.
Which
it
one
was Rod. It was Rod's
Apex.
Apex
challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw glimpses of this new, because it's sort of like you were Beyonce before, and then you went into your Sasha Fierce bag, and you went into like this new alter ego because you were rapping. T Styles was like birthed. So the freestyle was like the first time we got to see you dabbling in another creative way of expressing yourself. So was all of this around the same time? Because we caught that freestyle, and I think for a lot of people,
it took them back.
The antennas were high. It was like, oh, all right. I don't think they were taken back. It was sort of like seeing Janelle Monáe jump on a beat with what's homie name that she came out with? The rapper dude that was with her. Janelle Monáe, and then it was the dude who had like the reddish hair.
Oh, so yeah, Jadena.
So it was like Janelle Monáe jumped on a Jadena session, and poof, everything emerged from there. It was like a whole new, because we've never really seen you. Before that, we never really knew you was on beat. Like, you had rhythm. Like, we know you from the hood. You know what I'm saying? But we really know.
I would really
you feel
like
me?
to
Because joints can be
some
cute.
of that to voice fit.
You feel me? Because it was like, we didn't really know you had rhythm then. You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of joints can be dope.
It's coming.
And they can sing. You feel me? But that don't mean you got moves out there, outside of the, I mean? Mm-hmm. That was when we really said, oh, TV on beat. She got her own little bop and all of that. You feel me? So was all of that during the same energy when we first caught that freestyle? That was this new big girl winner energy and everything else that we're experiencing now?
I think it's always been with me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I was just afraid, like, to really kind of take it there, because I was so used to just being a singer. But for forever, I've always been like a writer, and I wrote poetry for so many years. I did slam poetry. Mm-hmm. So reciting poetry was like, that's what you did. So you do it over a track.
Okay.
I grew up around like hip hop. Like,
we could tell because you had the side ponytail with the bamboo, all of that. We seen all of that.
Yeah, so like it's not really something that's really foreign to me.
Okay.
It's just something that I don't think I've fully like allowed people to see.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like, if you know me, then you know, like, oh, okay, like you can see it. Mm-hmm. But if you don't know me, it might kind of like Oh, okay. She's gonna take there. Oh, okay. What?
Yeah, bro, because you went from like the church girl at church singing.
Well, I used to sing in the choir. So,
you could see that's what I'm saying. That's kind of like where we had you at prior, because you got to also realize the music as well as the introduction of your vibration has always been very melantone. It has like the you know what I mean, the vibe, the acoustic energy and all of this. And it was like your niece said, you went from I want you to love me, you know what I'm saying, where you like protesting your love to then you curving. Like you started curving on this project, you know what I'm saying? Two of my favorite projects on here. I mean, two of my favorite records on the project. You really talking spicy on this project. So this is all new energy.
What's your two favorite records?
Hold on. Pinky Promise and Big Girl Winner. Hold on. You can't catch me slipping. I do this. But, Black, and you caught that. I really do this. And we normally only get this type of energy from females after, like, being dogged out or, like, a heartbreak or something. Like, you just went through something major with them dude where you was, like, digmatized almost. And then, like, you just pouring out your emotions. Was that part of it? Is there a scandal behind? Like, did some dude break your heart behind this new energy? Or did you get curved?
No, you know what
you didn't get curved? Damn, son, y'all was supposed to curve her. Shame.
Wow, and you're supposed to be my brother. You see what I'm saying?
I am, but because you know why?
Nah, I'm supposed to call you like,
that type of energy. That type of energy normally sparks the best.
Nah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what's right there?
The best.
Tell you, being at a job, being at a place.
Okay.
That if when you give so much of yourself, and when you're always proving yourself to someone who's committed to their idea of you, and you're sitting here and you really, like, I did everything. Every time we had a meeting, I try to figure out how I can get better.
It sounds like a heartbreak.
But that's what it is. It's work, but it was work.
Yeah.
And, you know, like Roberto was like, I'm very passionate about whatever I do. Like, it, you know, like I always want to do my best. And, but when you're constantly giving so much that you're draining of yourself, you know, you got to know when to hang it up. Yeah. And I think for me, it's just like I was done. I didn't even care. Like, I don't think I even spoke. I was so tired that there was no conversation that could even interest me. So, you know, a few words I said, like, you know, my boss is very, very, I was trying my best to be as professional as I could. And I wasn't met with the same energy. So I did what any graceful woman would do. Like, I just said, you know what? It's okay. Like, it's okay. It's completely okay. I don't have to stay here. It's really that simple. I think life is very black and white. And it just hit me, and I was just like, I'm okay. And I quietly, you know, I packed up my stuff, and I did. And then I texted my you know, my manager. I was in my Uber. He knew what type of time it was. He was in that conversation. He heard it. Like, nobody, you don't stay after that. Like, it shouldn't get to that point, but sometimes.
So hold on, you text your resignation?
No. I submitted my resignation in person.
Yeah, be clear.
No, let me be clear. I submitted my resignation in person. I even gave them the benefit of the doubt and the courtesy to even give more of my time to teach what I know to someone else. However, I wasn't met with that same level of energy, because you don't just do people like that, you know, after so many years of working together. You know, they become like family, whether it's dysfunctional or not. You don't do people like that. So, but what was said was just, I just couldn't. It would be a complete disservice to me, or it would be an act against myself if I would have stayed at that point. Like, you just can't. Because that's how you get tricked with the okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get somebody try to, like, bamboozle you into thinking that you need something and you don't need it. You just need to know that it's going to be okay, and you just push forward. And it was the best decision that I made. It was literally the best decision that I made. And I'm so grateful for that. And I felt like God had to set it up like that, because he knew that I don't quit. And that's my problem, is like, sometimes I don't quit and I don't know when it's like, all right, like, on to the next thing. So sometimes I still, like, try to work at things and try to really exhaust all my resources before I walk away. So that was that. So I think that was such an altering thing. That's where you get that energy. So it was, and it all started, like, even when you hear Honor Me, and, you know, like, people think it's a relationship, but it was literally about releasing that energy and being tied to something that did not serve you.
You know what's crazy about this story is because you're right, we're so used to seeing this fire, this passion sparked in an artist or sparked in people after a heartbreak. But in your case, it was a heartbreak, but the relationship was actually corporate America and professional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what's crazy about this, how your relationship with a job actually sparked this whole new energy and this whole new mission you're on. Because it's a completely 360. It's a complete different type of energy, different type of vibe. Like, you're a completely different woman now in 2020. Because for us on the outside looking in, we watched you via social media go through this transformation, like this transition. You weren't shy about it. You didn't hide. I mean, with some days you were looking a mess on our timeline. You feel me? But we love you. But we love you, sis. You feel me? We love you.
You just dragged me all the way down the block.
Them dudes were still in your DMs, I bet. You feel me? Because they were seeing you unfiltered, no lashes, sweating. You know what I'm saying? You were really, and it's like, we're in a day and age where we don't really get to see females in their purest form anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're living with a female, you don't really, nowadays, especially the way things are today, we don't really get to see y'all in a natural state. So to see you displaying it and showing us you 5 in the morning, you feel what I'm saying? At 5 in the morning, ain't nobody looking their best at 5 in the morning.
Oh, no,
you follow what
I
I'm
wasn't
saying?
even trying.
But you were up there on, I mean, listen, nobody is looking crazier than Pinky out here on our timeline. So be clear, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? It was love. We seen you at 5 in the morning. We seen you busting a sweat in boot camps. We seen you working out with trainers, vocal lessons. Like, we seen it over this last couple months. And to see an artist, an indie artist, there's no bag behind this. There's no label doing it. Because most of the times we only see, you follow what I'm saying? We only see artists go this hard with their artistry once they have a label or a machine behind them.
Yeah.
Why was this important for you? Because most people feel like you can sing. You done put out some songs, a project, all right, I'm good. But for you, it was deeper than that. And for someone sharing a part of your world, and for me watching you go through that, tell the people why that was important for you and what this process did for your confidence, for everything as an artist, as a woman, period.
Yeah. I want to be great. So I feel like I just always wanted to be my best. And I knew what I had. Like, I listened to all my songs before it was released. Like, I had it for a minute. And I wanted, as I listened to it, I pictured this person, and I was like, all right, I want to become this person. Like, this is who I see, like, my evolved self. Like, this is the direction that I wanted to head towards. So I knew that in order to get there, I would have to endure the process that it took. So, a lot of artists or a lot of people don't realize, like, how much work goes into just being an artist. You don't just wake up and be like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And if you can do it, bless you. But my thing is, like, you can't skip levels in life. Like, any level you skip, you're going to have to repeat it. So for me, I was like, all right, I'm going to link back up with Ikela and the Voice Box. And now, she was hosting. She had just completed her first boot camp. And I remember those artists when I was first in class with them. And I seen, like, how they were after boot camp. And I was like, oh, no, I need to get in here. I don't think that you're ever, even if you're at your best, you still have more to go. I don't think you ever reach your peak. And if you do, then I'm sad. That's a sad place to be. Like, what else are you going to do? Like, I feel like it's always something to learn. And I think once you reach your peak, you're dead. That's it. Like, you have to be dead because there's always something else to learn and something else to do. And, it's almost like rereading a book, right? Yeah. You reread a book, and it's like the first time you read it, you was like, man, this is good, right? Like, if you read The Alchemist, you're like, man, this is good. But if you go back again and you read a line that you might have read before, but yet it means something different now. And I feel like with training as a vocalist, you go back into these classes and you relearn the fundamentals of music, and it also teaches you how to prepare yourself for a competitive standpoint. You have to be able to know your voice in a group of people, period. In a room full of people, you have to know who you are. And, you know, Akela doesn't baby us. She's not here to hold our hands, to walk us through it. She's going to tell you like it is, and you're going to learn, or you just not doing the work. Like, that's it. You cannot, you know, if you're going to train with her, like, you have to be willing to do what she says. Because 9 times out of 10, she's right. Like, or I want to say 10 times out of 10, but she's usually right.
Yeah.
And, but she really puts together a program that's affordable to artists, and, like, you know, like, I think that investing in yourself, not just in the way that you look, not just in the places you can go, whose picture you can take care of, you know, like, you want to be in a room of celebrities. Okay, when it's finally your turn to speak, like, what you gonna have to say? You're not even prepared for that. You just prepared for the picture. You go sit down. You understand? You're not prepared. Like, being an artist is different. You gotta learn how to talk to people. You gotta learn how to move in a room. You gotta know why you're doing it, what's really driving you to do it. And most times, people don't know. And when asked a question, you're just sitting here like that. But these are the things that development prepares you for.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, if you even look at old school artists now, like, if they open their mouths to sing, they could sing. You tell them to perform, they could perform. They could be old. Look at Diddy. He could barely dance, but he could still dance. He could still move. He's still somewhat agile because it's just muscle memory. These are things, he's done it for so long. You know, when you practice something for so long, it becomes second nature. Mm-hmm. And that's really why I focus on the development. I think you're never too good to be better. And that's something that's big for me.
Well said. Well said.
Mm-hmm.
I admire the grind that I've been able to witness you just display over the last year with this, because like I said, we already were familiar with you singing. You got joints out, dope records that,
Thank you.
You know, we play in our regular rotation. And to see this challenge of how can I be better, to see an artist, you know, display that at this level, T, hands down, Uggs, I admire it, I salute it, simply because, you know, as a female artist, doing R&B music, singing, things like that, I feel like y'all lane is very challenging. I feel like it's a challenging lane of how do you continue to level up not only your sound, not only the presentation, but also leveling up the artistry of it. Like, when you're getting on stages now, I'm seeing you on stages. I think my last show I coached you was the Delancey. And you bodied that, Uggs. Like, you owned the stage. You know, it was a very intimate venue, and I love the way you worked the room. And I seen in your most recent performance growth. Like, I've seen growth. You know, where I see these vocal lessons and all of that paying off, where I actually get to see it for myself as a fan. Walk us through what this process of a new sound, new energy, as well as a whole new work regimen, implementing all of these things, new job, everything. Walk us through how this journey has affected mommyhood. And, like, you know, and from it, second part of that question, what do you hope to leave on your son, the type of impression you hope to leave on him from watching you and go through this? Because this is like a new level to your whole journey, and as well as to your brand of what you're doing right now. So walk us through how this entire journey has affected mommyhood and that aspect of it, and what you hope to leave an impression on baby boy from all of this.
Honestly, it's hard. It's definitely hard. I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend like it's an easy street, because I think as any working mother, like, you hope that the things that you do don't have like such a negative effect on your children. In my case, my child. So I check in with him. I'm like, you know, I'm always honest as to where I'm at, what I'm doing. My son is very overprotective with me. He's not playing no games when it comes to his mama. I've been really focusing more so now, like, on creating a balance. Whether it is, like, we just have, like, a day where I just, like, you know, like, we just hang out. Like, we just hang out. We figure out what it is that we like to do together, and we do that thing. And for us, it's like, you know, we have sushi nights. That's his thing. He loves sushi. And then I take him, or, you know, we go to the bookstore. We get Starbucks. You know, like, we just vibe out, and I listen to all his anime conversations about stuff I don't understand.
Yeah.
But I just make it a point to try to do my best to talk to my son and just to see where his mind is at. I've just been really blessed, like, to have a son who really believes in what it is that I'm doing. So he doesn't, and because I used to take him everywhere I go. So he's been to all the rehearsals, like, he understands, like, a bit of, like, the lifestyle and stuff like that. Not to say that a child should have to understand, but I'm just grateful that he does, and he doesn't hold, you know, he doesn't have any, like, he doesn't give me attitude for it. He doesn't, like, say, well, but I want this, or, but I need this. Like, he understands there's certain investments that, you know, that I make, and you know, I do the best I can, how I can, and I'm really, really grateful. I don't know any other way. I have no secrets.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's hard, and I flat out say, yo, it's hard. Like, you think this is easy being your mother? It's not easy. If you came with instructions, I would have been figured this out. There's no cheat code to this.
Absolutely.
You think there's a cheat code to life? I'm like, so if you mad, then just be mad. You're gonna be mad at me. I'm not perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be wrong. And one thing I'm really big on is apologizing when I'm wrong. Like, if I get upset, like, sometimes, you know, I have a lot on my mind, or I'm trying to juggle 100 things, and if he's asking me, like, 1,000 questions at once, and it just becomes overwhelming, and if I react to it, I check myself, and I make sure that he knows that, like, I don't let it go undone. Like, you know, I don't pretend to be better than what I am. Like, I don't need him to have this false sense of who he thinks that I am. I just need him to know that I'm a regular human being just like him. And I just love him very, very much. And I'm doing the best that I can so that we can have more. But I'm also, it's not even just about having more. What I'm teaching him is that in life you have a purpose. You have a desire. Like, there's something that God, that it puts in you. And it's not something that everybody's going to understand. And I told him his might be different than mine. Mine might be different from his, or whatever the case may be. I said, but if anything in life, as long as you're not harming anyone, if that's what you choose, if that is what you feel is your path, then you have to take it. And many times you're going to have to walk alone. And you have to understand that that is okay. It's not for everybody to get. So if, you know, even when my time comes, like, that's one thing that I want him to be able to do, is to be a free thinker, to have confidence in himself, to know that he can do things, to know that when he fails, you know, he can pick himself up and he can try again. To know that he doesn't have to do it like how everybody else is doing it. And when people say it can't be done, that's cool. It can't be done for them, but it don't mean it can't be done for you. Like, to keep pushing, because you don't know. And you don't know who needs to hear even moments like this. Like, somebody could be listening in and you don't know who that person might become because, oh, I heard this conversation. I honestly challenge myself to write the EP off of a tweet. Off of a tweet. Joel Leon, he's a poet, writer, and now a TED talker. He just did a TED talk. But before all that, he was on Twitter. And he said, you know, he challenged artists of all sorts to, you know, what would happen if we created art that didn't stem from trauma, that didn't stem from, like, this dark, sad place? Like, what would we become if we actually did something from just pure creativity? And I was like, and it was hard. It was hard. It was definitely a challenge. I would sit there and I'm like, when I would start writing a song, I would start writing that song in the way that I've written all my songs. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, nah, we're not doing that. Like, I don't want to talk about this. This is boring. Like, we did this already. And I wasn't worried about, like, oh, I want to do something like The Girl Behind the Sarcasm. I didn't think like that. I thought, I just want to have fun. And that's literally how I felt the whole time. That's exactly what I was telling myself. Like, I just want to have fun. I want to talk about things that I feel like matter to me, and I want to have fun in the process. And I want to be able to deliver it in a way that's not so heavy. It's like Oswald Benjamin has like this line where he's like, you know, he basically says he had to dumb it down to get his feelings out. And that always stuck with me. And I was like, T, you don't gotta be so damn philosophical. No one cares.
Mm-hmm.
Just say how you feel. And if it's like, you know, if it's mad petty, oh well, we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. It don't matter. And then that's where you got Big Girl Winter. Like, we out here. It's just fun.
Yo, if you just tuning in and you just catching up with us, we got the lovely, soulful songstress, Miss TINICA Rose in the building.
Hey.
So this brings us to where we are today.
Yes.
And the momentum, the energy behind this record, the lead-off single. Now if you in tune, your ears is tuned into the streets, you might have caught this record on DJ Miss Milan's playlist, and we've ring off the record a couple times. I actually played it like last week at an event that I was hosting, and I had the DJ ring it off. And
Nice.
now be clear, man. You feel me? The energy behind this record, T, is unmatched compared to anything you've dropped to date. Like, I think this is a whole new different energy. It's sort of like TINICA Rose, the trap version. Like, you know
Oh,
what
you're
I'm
talking about
saying?
Big Girl.
Well, I'm saying Big Girl Winter, the single, as well as the project, though. This whole new energy in sound that you're developing and cooking up right now is a complete different type of time than anything we've seen thus far. Even the looks, like even how you move in here, the energy, like you said, you went into it just wanting to have fun, and it's evident.
Yeah.
Like, and it's evident. What has been the response so far since dropping this record?
It's been so good. It is.
Yeah.
The response has been so good, and you know, leading up to it, like people were like, "No, you need to hold off and releasing it. What is your thought process? Like, what are you gonna do?" And I was just like, "Nah." Like, it was just in my spirit. And I was like, I'm okay with being wrong. Like, I'm completely okay with being wrong. I could always just repackage it, put the shit out again. And, you know, like, I didn't care. And I was completely okay with being wrong. Because I was so confident in the project that I loved it. And I didn't need anyone to convince me that they liked it.
Yeah.
And I think that energy, like, people have, like, received it so well. It continues to be received well. And I'm really, really grateful. Like, I'm grateful. I just feel like sometimes you have to trust in the knowing, even when you don't know. Even when, like, you know, because I'm talking about the people that are closest to me that are, like, my go-tos, who's just like, nah, maybe you gotta do it like this. Or even strangers, they was like, well, are you gonna have an album release party? I'm like, for what? Like, what am I celebrating? Y'all wasn't here? Like, and I'm not even trying to be rude, but like, well, am I having it in my laundry room? Because, you know, my machine was there. Like, the whole process we endured together. You know what I'm saying? My bedroom was there too. And I feel like we as indie artists, we get so caught up in the image of it. You gotta look like you're popping. You gotta look like, and I just didn't feel like that. I'm like, yo, what are we celebrating? The work is just now beginning. This is the work.
Yeah.
We're celebrating the release of all the stuff that came together. That part was easy because none of y'all had never heard of it. I didn't have no pressure on my back of anything to really live up to. I was just like, I was kind of just vibing. Now this is where the work comes in. So to me, it just didn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to get to work. I wanted y'all to hear that, like, I'm not playing. Like, I do this. I love music. Like, I've studied hip hop my whole life. Like, I just didn't think I could do it. And that was the reality of it. I didn't think that I could rap. And I had it in my head that I couldn't. Even though I would write, like, stuff down and, like, jokingly. Yeah. I think even Trix has an old video of me behind Steely's, like, at Steely's show, like, rapping to some old, like, it was, like, some verse that I did, like, when I was real young. And we laughed about it. But honestly, I knew that if I was gonna do it, I had to be all in. Like, I had to commit to it. It couldn't be a joke.
Yeah.
Because I needed people, like, I needed to be able to come across, like, as, it had to come from a genuine place. So I didn't try to, like, be like anything I heard. I just wrote how I felt or what I felt or what I heard in that, in where my pockets were and stuff like that.
Right.
And I just kind of moved from there. So I don't think that it's necessarily like a new thing. I think it's just new to the world. I think this is just me peeling back the layers of who I am and allowing people to really get to know me. I know that, you know, like, you know, I'm a very private person. And even so much, I think that also comes across in my artistry as being private. Y'all only heard like the sad songs of the after effects of life, but I don't think anybody's ever seen me in the process of it, of what that looks like, of the growing pains, of the doubt, the uncertainties and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you went from like, you know what I'm saying? It was like you were like on your Juliet Romeo flow before, like holier than thou. You know what I mean? Then you came back popping and busting it. You feel me? And it was like, this was we already had a hot girl summer. Then you came right in with the big girl winter. You feel me? That's how you was feeling?
I was feeling like that.
What's your favorite joint on the project?
I love all of them. I love all of them. But like I said, my baby is always going to be All Summer, because All Summer was the first song that kind of sparked everything else. Big Girl Winter was mad fun to write. I think I had, I wish that like y'all could have been a fly. This is the one moment I don't think I'd really even recorded that process of making that song, because I was so intimidated. I was so intimidated by the record, but I was also having so much fun, and I don't think I wanted people to see me really enjoy how much, or really see how much I enjoyed that process. And I felt like that I kind of robbed y'all a little on that. But I needed that moment for me.
Yeah.
I know it's mad selfish, but I really needed that moment for me. I needed to know that that part of me exists. And
I mean, I think that's quite okay.
yeah.
I feel like you deserve it. Let's
you.
go into it, man. Debuted this joint right here all summer. Who produced it? Like, you know, tell
The
us
whole
all about
project
it.
is produced
You know.
by Impala Drummers. Shout out to my boy Alex.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is All Summer.
Your girl TINICA Rose in the building. This right here is off that Big Girl Winter. Get in tune with it all summer.
That's my song. I love it. It's hard not to laugh like when you listen to it, but it's also some real stuff, because you could really meet someone at a bad time, and it's like you'll play around thinking that you're gonna be able to change someone when you can't. It's like, let's just skip that. Let's skip it. Okay, let's curve him, catch your life, and if it's supposed to be, then it's better that you have good energy later on in the future than you have like some resentment that's just festering at the, you know what I mean? Like, it's just spare yourself. trying to help my fellow ladies, you know what I'm saying? Help my fellow women out there to just learn a lesson, you know, like that takes discipline. Takes discipline. Because it's hard, because you're like, oh man, this person's fine. Because, you know, we women, we love potential. We love some potential. We love men who are no good for us, because they always the finest, to us at least. You know what I'm saying? We love that, like that cool, calm stuff. We don't like that nervous energy from someone who really likes you and they're just so nervous that they don't want to mess anything up. We should probably like it, but we don't, because it gives us anxiety.
Fellas, take notes, man. It's interesting.
I think it feels like, I think as a woman, like when it's kind of intimidating, like when you see somebody who likes you, but that is yeah, you kind of want to gravitate towards the person that's actually showing interest rather than the person who's not. But I think before you could even get to a point of relationships and stuff like that, there's still a level of growth that you have to really kind of meet in your own individual life. You have to be like really about what you say, and it's hard, and it takes discipline. That's why I think that's why that line is so important to me. Like, you know.
So Big Girl Winter, this is like.
Big Girl Winter.
So is this for the cuffing season, ladies, or this is the single and?
Big Girl Winter is for any woman. I think it's just for any woman. I think it's just obviously when you say big girl, you automatically think it's just a big woman. But it's all how we view ourselves, because women always think that they're fat even when they're not. So it doesn't really matter about like size per se, but it can be.
So it's not for the BBWs?
No, it can be for the BBWs. I mean, first and foremost, I'm gonna say yes and no. It's for the BBWs, but it's really for everybody.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because for BBWs, because there's men who legitimately like us. Like, we're not second choice. We're not like,
Yeah,
oh,
they got
this
a
is
whole
tax
category
season.
on Pornhub.
Like no, this isn't no
Yeah,
Pornhub.
they got a
You
whole
always gotta
category
take it to
with
another level.
BBW, bro. That's in right now. Like, BBWs get
So
love.
I
And
feel
this
like
is
you
BBW
don't-
season.
I'm over here. I just can't.
Hibernating, you know what I'm saying? Up under them yams.
Nah, like we be outside during the spring and summertime. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's such the misconception. Like, when you look at all these memes, it's always like, oh, tax season coming around. Like, stop it, because you don't even got the funds for it. Like, come on.
So you're trying to say fellas can't even afford a BBW?
It's not even about you can't afford it. It's just to me it was just like none of that is what factors in as a woman. Like, so many times we think it's like all these things. It was just a fun song, and I just wanted women to feel good when they heard it. And it didn't matter about what you look like, what your sizes, what your nationalities. It doesn't matter. Like, it's big girl winter. You a big girl. You doing big girl things. Like, we grown ups.
So
like
the Slimmies could.
Yeah, Slimmies can shake their bones. No, I'm joking.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm
The
saying?
Slimmies
It's
can
big
shake
girl
it
winners.
too.
But how are you seeing the big community gravitate to the record and respond? Has it been an enormous?
I think no.
amount of
Honestly,
love?
women in general
You
love
caught
that song.
You didn't catch that. Yeah, see, that
Enormous
was a bar.
amount of love, because you
I mean,
you
I
out
just
here,
wanted
you
to be
poke
clear.
it.
I just
hear
wanted
you.
to be clear.
Yeah.
Like, feel me? We need to
I've been
understand.
working with you for a long time.
We need to
dude,
understand.
that I know how to dodge your
Yo,
little,
because I
what's
seen
it
you
called?
perform this on stage, and I think you had your belly out too, like a crop shirt.
Yo,
feel
you
me?
lie
Or
like the
a
rug
crop
on the-
shirt. You feel
you
me?
lie so much.
So like, I think I seen like a crop shirt. You feel me? I think Lizzo is sort of like ushering in like this whole new campaign for voluptuous women, and I feel like this record, along with y'all whole campaign y'all doing right now, I think this is all a nice big girl campaign right now that's going on. I think you and Lizzo got something. Y'all the first ones jumping out here. Because you're not even big,
It
so
is
I
a lot.
don't
Yo, you
even
sound
know
like
how you
someone-
making a song for the big girls.
First of all, I
One
am
time for
a
the
big
big
girl.
girls.
Hey.
One
And,
time for the big girls.
I
You're
just
not
wanna
even
say,
big, bro. Like you,
Yes.
they don't
And
consider you a part of their
It's
tribe.
only because I'm short. Okay, whatever. There's probably a height requirement for
They
this.
probably
I don't
say you
need.
like medium, like you like
Schmedium, nah, I'm not
medium, dog.
schmedium.
You're not in
You go
that
in my closet,
category.
you ain't finna find nothing schmedium in there, okay?
I don't know, cause lately we've been seeing you, popping out with your whole get up. You know what I'm saying?
What it is? I think it's just to a point where you just gotta love yourself. Like, damn, this is what it is. It is what it is. This is me in this point in time, and this is my best for right now. This is my best. It's not my best that I could ever be, but this is my best. In this moment, this is me at my best. And I just show up for myself, and I take care of myself as best as I can. I'm getting better. Yeah, that's my only focus. I just want women to feel good. I don't want it to be a constant battle between us. It's not a competition. It's just really about like feeling good as you are. And
this is the soundtrack
yeah,
of feeling good.
It is the soundtrack of feeling good. Like, sometimes you gotta say, why you only call me when it's good for you? Like, you gotta acknowledge these are hard questions. Because sometimes you be sitting here playing, like, and you get mad for what? It's like, no, why you only call me when it's good for you? And you gotta remind them, keep that same energy when you need it. When you be on your knees and you're begging and pleading. Like, that means when you come back around, a few weeks later, like, I want you to remember this moment when you were fly and you was popping, right? Because he got 2 women in his, what is it? He got 2 women in his, I forgot.
One is a summertime joint, and then one is his wintertime joint. You can't hibernate and lay up with the summertime
Nah,
joint.
it's all season. But this is an all season project. It
Mm.
says it's called Big Girl Winter, yes, but it's an all season record.
Mm-hmm.
It's to me, Big Girl Winter is such a timeless project to me. And y'all can say what y'all have to say in terms of when people can make their decision for themselves. But I just feel like there are lessons in here that need to be learned. And like I said, like in no regrets. Like, I didn't misspell that because I don't know how to spell. I misspelled that on purpose because you know, there was like a commercial once where this guy goes and gets a tattoo and it said no regrets or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously for us copywritten times, you don't want to do the same exact thing. So I was like, no regrets. Because the thing is, it's like a tattoo is a permanent thing, right?
Yeah.
And people make permanent decisions based off of temporary emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So he might feel like he's winning right now because he got mad options. And that's cute because we all, you know.
Or she might feel like
or
she
she
winning.
might feel. Let me say that.
Be clear.
Let me be clear.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking this way too personal. But he or she, you know, because
Yeah.
I got a son, so I'm not even gonna try to play myself. But he or she can feel like they're winning right now because they have options and they weighing out their options, right? They have two women or people, whatever, in their path right now, feeling like the man, so he won't back down. Talking hella heavy, right? Because you know that means you talking like you don't care because you already you got something to fall back on.
A nice
But it's just like
BMW.
keep that energy when it all falls down. Because when you do people dirty, even if you don't intend to, that has a way of coming back to you. That's why you got to be careful with your energy and know why you're doing something. Because if you're making a decision that's best for you, then I don't think you could ever lose from that, regardless of another person likes your decision or not. But if you're deliberately doing something to hurt someone else, then you got to deal with how that comes back to you. And no regrets was just basically about that too. And so there's mad lessons on here, yo.
So this project is really like the soundtrack of like, you know, the level up, the glow up.
Yeah.
The glow up.
The glow up is what I've learned thus far.
And we can tell you've learned a lot too, because your whole disposition is different. You know, like your whole bop is different right now. Like you know, it's matching. Before we get out of here, I just gotta ask, man, before we, you know, if you haven't checked out this project yet, it's like 6 joints. Big Girl When the EP is available on all streaming platforms.
All of them.
Are we gonna get any visuals off this project?
Yes. So the
Okay.
visuals coming up next, and I'm excited about that.
Yes.
So I'm just setting the day now.
Are you going like D'Angelo on us, like heavy baby oil and like
No,
crazy?
I
You
can't
feel
tell
me?
you
Like,
anything.
all right, we want to be.
I
quick,
want it to
man.
be like, I just want to do it. Like, I just want to do it, and I just
Nike,
want,
okay.
yeah, like, yeah, I
Okay.
just want to, like, I don't really want to talk too much. I just know that the visual is coming up. I understand the importance of visuals. Before
Yeah.
anybody come for me, any marketing concerns.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just want to give people my best. And I appreciate the patience because, you know, like, I am the budget. I am everything.
Yeah.
And I do my best to get things out in a timely fashion. But, you know, here at TINICA Rose, we do not have any public assistance. But if you are willing to give me some of your food stamps to convert that into visual money, I will take all donations.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen you creatively
Uh.
kill it though with the photo shoots, a lot of these new looks.
Yeah.
Like
Shout out to
everything is really lining up
Thank
around
you.
this project, man. It's dope to see. And this Friday,
This
you're rocking out here locally in the
Mount
town.
Vernon.
Talk to us about this show, man. What can we
Friday the
expect?
28th, I'll be at, it's on 4th Avenue. It's
Acoustic.
128, the Acoustic Exchange.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm really excited. It's gonna be a live event, and the lineup is heavy.
Word.
And I just know that it's gonna be a fire show because at some point I think I've performed with at least 3 of them, like 3 of the people that are in the show. So I already know what they're capable of, and that was like probably like a little while ago. So I could only imagine how it's evolved.
Yeah.
And a lot of the names that I've seen on the list are people that I run into or I see on, you know, bills on different venues, and other people's flyers. So I know that everybody on there is working. So if you want a quality show, then you definitely want to be at the Acoustic Experience this Friday the 28th.
What time?
It's at 7 p.m. Tickets are $20. The Eventbrite link is definitely in my bio on all my social media. So it doesn't matter where you follow me, it'll be there in my link. And yeah, it's just come out. And if you don't come out, then I don't want to hear
You're missing out. Come out
You
and get
really
this
miss
big
out.
girl winner energy.
For real, it is Big Girl Winner because that's really what we're doing. Like,
You
it's,
gonna have the bigums in there with you? You gotta get some like, I think you gotta take it old school like Redman days and get like a whole big girl dance group. Why
That'll be
not?
fire.
And have them busting dope jiggy moves. I think that'd be lit. Definitely. Get the budget right. I think that's a vision. I think, yo, Black, I think we can do that. Peep the vision.
Yeah, big girl, dance crew, choreographer. Yeah.
Like Monique. Sounds
Yeah,
like Monique.
but she not big no more though.
Nah, she not big.
So
no
you
more.
got to get girls that
She
still
was big
big
though
ones.
at one point.
It was though, but she on the same thing you on. Y'all all transitioning. Now you got to get true big girls that are fluffy and
I'm
beautiful.
fluffy.
And
I'm
fluffy and
beautiful.
beautiful. You feel me? You have to. So this Friday,
This Friday.
locally, catch
Local.
Miss T Rose in the
Yes.
building.
And I love performing at home, because I don't get to do it often.
Me either. I'm celibate.
I
Yeah.
can't breathe. Why are you like this?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I love to do like, so I'm excited. I'm excited because a lot of my family is gonna be able to make it out,
Dope.
and when they're not able to make it to like any of my city performances or anywhere else for that matter out of state, they they're gonna be able to see it. So I definitely want to put on for them.
You got to show out at home.
Yeah.
This is a home show.
Yeah, and then
It's
plus
not
I spent
often.
all that time in boot camp. Like I'm trying to
That's what I'm saying.
apply what I've learned and just continue to just be great. Just do what I love, and just and just keep giving my best.
Well, it looks good on you. Like
Thank
this new
you.
energy, it
Thank
fits. It matches your personality, and
I appreciate
your
that.
energy. If it's one thing you had to pick out of all the lessons and learning curves you've experienced, what would you say has been your biggest lesson learned as an artist thus far?
As an artist or as a honestly is if I'm being 100%, is that I'm enough. Like that was like a lesson that I had to learn. Like I have so much music that it should not be legal throughout of all these years that I recorded, and I spent so much money in recording these things that I never released because I was like, oh no, it's got to be perfect. I don't know if people are going to really mess with this. I don't know. And I really doubted myself. And when I listen back to it, I'm like, man, this is so fire. Like if you would have just released it, you would have gotten past this part. Because, when you don't release things in the time of which they need to be released, then it blocks you from the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting here and you keep trying to create these moments, but you're the one that's blocking yourself because you're not releasing the blessing that was already there. That was a blessing, that was a moment that had to be shared, and you didn't share it. And it can be detrimental sometimes, like, because you don't know what that means to someone else. You just think that it means something to you, but it's not about you. Like, what we do is not about us. You here, black there, like, whole there, like, it's not about us. Like, we do things because we feel like it's our purpose, and it's bigger than us. Everything that we do in life is bigger than us, and it's tied to somebody else's process. Whether it's good, bad, like sometimes we're the villain, sometimes we're the savior, sometimes we're all these things, but everything that we do it holds meaning to it. So I think that it's important to release and to make sure that, you just allow things to flow in which they have to. And it's not about being perfect. It's about completion. It's about knowing when it's time to just let it go and move on to the next thing. So.
I like that. I like that a lot. Well said. Yo, T, you, as always, you bring a spark to my day. I actually ran into T yesterday when I was out on family time.
I saw your daughter.
Yeah.
She was so cute. And she's like, hi. And I was like, man, I know this baby.
Word.
I was like, man, she's so cute. And I was like, wait, I know her. And then I saw the little ponytails Fuge's head. I was like, this is huge.
Word. I ran into T out
Ran
and
into
about.
family frozen yogurt time.
Yo, it's always dope too when I get to run into like my peers and like T and our family, but it's like it's dope to see them in their full throttle of like what they're becoming as an artist. So like when I get to see T in her element, and shout out to Miss Jen too. I saw her in the Vesty.
My boo Jen. And I hadn't seen her in a minute either, so that was like my first time really catching up with her too in like months.
Yeah.
So I got to see all y'all, and I didn't even want to stay too long to talk to you because I knew I was going to talk to you today.
Yeah.
And you know how we do. Like, once we get started, it be like...
That's a fact. And my daughter, once she left, she was like, Daddy, isn't that the lady that sings?
I wanted you
I'm
to
like,
love
yeah,
it.
I'm like, yeah, that's her. So it's dope to see,
Aw.
just to see how people are gravitating to the music. Your energy is always great. I'm just so proud of you just to see the evolution.
Thank you.
Just to watch you over the last couple years, man, evolve. I just wish you so much success on
Thank
this
you.
journey.
Likewise, it's same. I
you
feel
know,
the same thing when I watch you.
Yeah, I was
And
telling
I watched y'all when
someone
y'all
about
first
you,
started this,
man.
and I'm like, man, like look at this. We got banners. We
Word.
lit out here. We are lit.
Shout out to the fellas,
Got a whole
man.
staff, like,
Yeah, we're coming
and
together,
everybody takes
man.
it so seriously,
Absolutely.
and I love it. I love it. I've
Absolutely.
It's always good to be around professionals. I think it's important, especially on whatever level you are, like to take what you do seriously. Especially if you like, if people are not gonna take you seriously if you don't take yourself seriously.
100%.
So
100%.
I always appreciate y'all. Y'all always do your research, even though y'all know me. Like y'all still go above and beyond to find out things you don't know.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Grandma. Shout out to the whole Ward family, your pops. I just love how your entire tribe is coming together. I always run into your sister at the shows now, and you know what I'm saying.
My
So
older
it's dope.
sister.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
dope.
Naisha,
man.
she don't play. She's like an unpaid intern.
Yeah,
I
that's
pay
my
her
boo,
in
man.
food.
That's my boo.
I pay her in food.
Well, I see her at the last couple joints, Pelham, and when I was at, she didn't know, I was double parked at the last joint when you did.
In Harlem, yeah.
Nah, when you did, not Harlem, when you did
Delancey?
Delancey, I parked on the Delancey, because I parked in front of the hydrant on the sidewalk. Like, I had to double park, and like, I ran in and caught T on stage, right, just getting started, and then I caught the whole performance, and then I dipped. I didn't even get to talk to you that show. I dipped right back out, because I was double parked on the sidewalk, so I had to make sure
and
they
then
didn't
the
tow
one
the
in
car.
Harlem, you had somebody like
Word.
you
In the
just
car. Word,
Yo.
waiting for me. So we never missing
We out
it,
here
man.
doing drive-by
Yeah, we never missing that energy, man. It's,
support. That's what I was like, wait, the Delancey? It was so packed in there, like honestly.
Word.
Child, I did my hair looked crazy. At the end by the time I got on stage, my hair was
But you're holding it down. You're holding it down. Before we get out of here, I just want to ask you how, because for a lot of artists, indie artists, you know, we often hear the struggles of it. We don't really hear too many stories of, you know, them building that tribe. And for you, you mentioned the woman who choreographs and hosts the vocal trainings as well as the boot camp. All of these pieces, Akela, and each one of these pieces are becoming your tribe. Like this is your tribe of development.
That is definitely my tribe because we through boot camp. I mean,
You mean other artists as well?
Other artists, yeah, they're
perform and
it's
do
a
some
compilation
of the
of
same
all various like really talented artists that want the same thing. Like we just want to be better, and we want to know. And where your confidence comes in as an artist is by doing the work. Like if you look at Kobe wasn't confident because of his skills alone. He was confident because he knew what he was putting into it. He knew that he worked and he put in that grind. Like he was so secure. Like even if it was an off day, he would still be great. You know, even if it wasn't his best, it was still going to be great because he had put in all those hours in actually doing the work. Mm-hmm. And I think as an artist, like we forget that because we focus so much on social media, which isn't necessarily a bad thing from a business standpoint, but also in a business standpoint, you have to invest in your product, and you are the product. And if you're not investing in your growth, you might have one dope record, and if you can't evolve past that, well then, I mean, you won't have anything else to offer. Like people are gonna get tired of you real quick, and then you're
Especially
gonna spend
nowadays.
you're gonna spend so much time having to reinvent yourself. Nobody got time for that. So it's just better to constantly. It's just like the way that you evolve in life, and then you just hope that it translates over into the music. And I think it's just really about being authentic and just being yourself. And if people can connect to you, then I feel like that's how you begin to like grow your fan base and stuff like that. I'm just blessed enough to have like a group of people that even from like childhood or even in adulthood or even in my first projects, like they still rock with me, you know, and they were all excited. I felt like we were doing this all together, like for Big Girl Winter, and when that came out, like they were just equally as excited as I was for it, and then and there's just so
and it
much
shows
more growth.
though. It shows just as I was saying, just to see an artist of your stature this early on their journey, just link with other people, and before you knew it, it's starting to be like that Team T Rose. Like that's what it's looking like out here. That Team T Rose where, you know, I saw when the project dropped, the single dropped, there were unlimited amount of people who were just showing that love, showing that support. It was definitely dope to see, man. It's dope to see that tribe coming together, and I commend you for it because there's not many artists. I mean, you know, lately we've been seeing a handful of artists be able to just garner that interest from other people around them to come together and support, and you're definitely one of them. Like I see the people from the Voice Box sharing the records, coming out to the shows, supporting, and you know, that speaks volumes on your personality and shows what type of person you are. So I wanted to commend you on that.
I appreciate that
a lot, because that's not easy to do. I see a lot of artists out here. I'm working with many artists, and not many artists network lateral with their peers to even spark interest and get their peers interested and want to support them and get behind them. You support many of these people, and they support you right back, and that I love to see. It's organic. I see when Miss Milan, I see when the Janae.
I love her. You know I love DJ Miss Milan.
That's cool, but this interview ain't about them. It's about you. So I want to bring it back home and tell you that, because it's great to see your peers supporting you, but it's also great to see how you've garnered that and grabbed that support from these people as well, man. That speaks volumes. Like, speaks volumes of your humility, as well as just how dope of a person you are, because they coming out, like they showing up for you, they supporting. You know what I'm saying? You're a little
and I appreciate you checking me too.
Little dope joint from Mount Vernon, and these people is knowing you around the world, man. Like you taking this flag, waving it around the world. I'm seeing people from Brooklyn, from here. So far, sounds like you've bombed on all of these stages. You've mobbed out and rocked them. So I really commend you, man. You move like, for real, because you're a female artist out here, a singer, and you move and put in just as amount of work as these rappers. Like, you on these bills. You out here in these streets, for real.
You gotta work. You're one thing, and you know
on these playlists, too. Like, yeah, you on these playlists,
Lifting heavy ass weights, you hear me?
Yeah, you on these playlists, man. That's dope. I just commend you, man.
Shout out to Nick, the manager.
Yes. Shout out to Nick. I saw the campaign. We were voting in the captions.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying. That's all you.
Fun.
That's all you.
It was really, really fun. And, it's just really about just doing, you really just have to do the work. There's no secret, none. It's just really having to do the work. And I think people are surprised because I don't think anybody's really doing the work.
They're surprised because they don't really see a female doing it by herself. That's why. That's why it's surprising. You don't see, I don't even think you realize it. I think you be so engulfed in the work that I don't think you ever put your head up to look around and see. Like, there aren't many female artists out here moving alone, singers at that, really putting on. Like, so that's where it speaks volumes, man. Like, many of these female artists, you know, it's dope when we get to see them out and about, but we rarely get to see the female singers out and about alone on this journey like you have. So it's dope to see it. We were talking in the green room, you and I. A few people we ran into on the showcase scenes, like, they don't last because it's hard work. And you're a whole mommy, you're a whole full-time worker, and you're a whole full-time black businesswoman owning a business.
Oh, child.
You feel me?
You hear me?
So salute to you on this Black History Month.
No,
it's hard.
You know what? That's like probably the first thing because you know people, they see you so light skinned, they're like,
yeah. Because you represent the beige section, but let them know you still black girl rocking out here.
I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. You hear me?
You looking good.
Thank you.
Your energy is great.
Likewise.
You're smelling great.
You hear me? I
the
took a
music.
shower.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
You don't play games when you come to grandma's table. You don't play games.
That's a fact. And the music is sounding even more marvelous. It's getting better. I can't wait to see the visuals.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
And this Friday, you got to kill.
Friday is gonna be a great show. I'm claiming it because I can feel it. I just feel like Friday is gonna be such a great show. And if you have not purchased your tickets, like I feel like y'all are like baby playing yourselves, like really playing yourselves. Because at this point, there's nothing else to really say. Like you just either you there or you're not. So it's Friday the 28th, 7 p.m. and it's local. Like I mean, for people who don't like leaving the house, the block, the stoop, whatever, it's right there. Like it's 4th Avenue. At some point, we all been there.
Out.
Yeah.
Pop out. Let them know. Big Girl Winner out right now.
Big
they
Girl
can get
Winner
it on everything.
all platforms.
And where can they find you at? Stay in tune with your wave and all
You
that.
can follow me at TINICA Rose. It's TINICA, and then Rose like the flower, ROSE. And it's streamlined on every media platform. It's the same name. So Twitter.
That's right. Get in that
Twitter,
link tree,
IG,
man. It's in her
Facebook.
bio, man.
Yeah, it's right there.
Tell them stop playing.
Stop
TINICA
playing.
Rose, man, the boss lady. Big
Thank
Girl
you for
Winner.
having me.
Come on, sis, stop it,
No,
man.
because you know how much I
couldn't
love
wait
your
to
show.
talk to you
I
about
always
this
be trying to make
project.
sure my life is connected before I
Yeah.
come here, because you know, Fuge be having a good read for me, dragging me through the partnership.
Yeah, I love, sis. I love, because I love seeing what you're doing.
I
And
appreciate it.
you know, for a lot of artists, it's fun when you get to build with artists you actually admire, and you know they put in the work to be great. Like they're putting in the work every single day, you know. So it's fun, man. Before you get out of here, though, I gotta get into my favorite joint off the project. You know what I'm saying?
Joint?
Big Girl Winner.
Oh,
man.
Big Girl Winner. Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So before you get out of here, please debut this record, introduce this to them so we can bring this off, please, right now.
So it's your girl TINICA Rose, and you're about to get into my record, Big Girl Winter, because it's our season. 'Tis the season, and big girls are the reason.
Oh.
Big thighs, he don't need a pin up. I'm talking suicide, the type that you pin up. He ain't afraid to die, he just wanna win that. He want a big girl to keep him on this winter. He want big thighs, he don't need a pin up. I'm talking suicide, the type that you pin up. He ain't
Hey, it's your girl TINICA Rose, and you are checking out SRL Radio with my beloved brother, DooDooboyFuge.